Come here now, girl.
Hello and welcome to What's Map, your one-stop shop for everything workshop. I'm BonBonB and you're very, very welcome. Well, it's Monday, we are right back to the top of the workshop looking at the top performing map of the moment, and it's this one. Now, it is an inexperienced creator. They've only made one map before this, and it was a week before this one, so this map was made in less than a week as well, but it does have some real nice things about it, despite having some quite major flaws as well. I'm going to tell you, I like the shape of the map, I like the design of the map, I like the layout of the highways, I like the shape of the river, I like the overall aesthetics, and I like the forest. There's plenty of things that I like. There are issues, and of course it is a converted save game as well, which means that if you like playing the purchase the tile kind of game, the vanilla sort of rules kind of game, it's not going to work for you. Plenty to look at and talk about today, but before we get and do any of that, I've got a daily reminder for you. That's right, hitting that like button really does support the channel, gets me seen by more people and helps me grow a little bit more every single day. Thank you for your support. Today's map is Midwest Hills No DLC by TR3. The thumbnail, a loading screen thumbnail there, is taken at night with a power cut, so there is that. Now, there isn't, strictly speaking, a start square, but the camera does zoom down on this area, so I thought I'd show you that as where you could start building. The terrain heights, despite being a hills map, it's very flat. Okay, and then we have resources. It's fertile and forests, basically. But what about the fishing? Because if you have got Sunset Harbour and you want to do some fishing, well, it's salmon and anchovies. Good to go. Off to the workshop. Of course, it's off to the workshop. Any DLC required today? Have a guess. That's right, no DLC. It's in the title, I know. Got 4 trees to subscribe to. I will recommend the unlimited tree mod as well, because there are nearly 600,000 trees. We'll be using the Vanilla Boreal theme and the realistic 1.2 LUT. Now I'm going to start off with a look at this forest. I really love the shape and just like the vibe of the woodlands here. I want to start with this because I want to start with a high point. I don't want to dive straight in and start moaning. So let's go and do some moaning, shall we? So I'm sorry, I don't like moaning, but let's go and do some moaning. Right down to the highway. Now, 2 problems. First of all, yes, regulars will realise we have the trees on the highway. More about that in a moment. But you'll also notice we have 2 gantries back to back, which means that this stretch of highway here has got the traffic running the wrong way at that point. So we've got a stretch of highway running from this point, and we'll see how far that goes, that will need to be inverted. Now again, because it's a converted save game, you won't actually be buying the tiles. So you kind of, yeah, you're going to want the 81 tile mod, basically. Unlock the whole lot at once. Come over here, invert the traffic on this highway, and it's the only bit of broken highway. It's quite long, but it's the only section, so you'll be able to come and fix this quite quickly. The trees on the road, covered this plenty of times, but again, it's always somebody's first show, so I'm going to point it out. I use Anarchy, and I use Anarchy with the trees unhidden at the start of the map review, so that anybody who wants to do some detailing, let's say you're going to do an abandoned road and you want to do some trees on the road or some grasses on the road to show that it's abandoned and overgrown, you can do that detailing and it will show. Now, strictly speaking, this is not the map that needs any of that. So you would it suggest that I would have the Anarchy switched on from the start, off from the start, sorry. And well, hang on, we reverted. Hang on, we've inverted traffic somewhere down here. Hang on, let's find this point where it invert. I think it's down here. There's a break in the line markings somewhere. There we go. Yeah, where that tree is, that's where the traffic then inverts back the correct way. Oh, and we've got a potential start location up here as well. Let's have a little look at these. Intersections are all very nice. If they weren't overgrown, they'd be very, very, very nice. But yes, I'm liking them. And also the heights of the bridges are absolutely on point as well. So there's plenty of credit to be given. I've got to keep pointing out there's plenty of credit to be given. Some very nice bridges coming across here. First of all, crossing the rail and then crossing across the main river across to the island. It looks quite low, but it's not too low, so that's fine. And then back to the trees. Yes, so trees. Now, we've got 600,000 trees on this map. So if you haven't got the unlimited tree mod, a lot of these aren't going to show up. but the trees that are under the highway are part of that tree count. So actually deleting the trees from under the highway may free up a few thousand. I do like this though. I do like the way that this intersection works with the river without going any higher than it needs to. It's actually looping underneath the main highway there. I'm liking that a loop around. I think it's very cleanly done, and big fan of getting the ramps not being too steep. So credit, of course, credit. I thought I saw a little bit of glitch. Nope, sorry. I thought I saw some glitching. I wanted to point at glitching and go, there's something else wrong with this map. There's not really that much. If you're going to point out the problems with this map, I think the big one is the fact that anarchy will cause your trees to show through the... hang on. This is the potential start square. This is kind of where you start building, right by a pre-built network, which we could talk about in a moment. And this would be, I guess, sort of your start square, or where you'd be expanding into once you've zoned out that pre-built network. As pre-built networks go, we're not really going to study it today. We're just going to take a quick glance from afar. It's actually quite a nice shaped small town. I'm going to give credit for where it's due. Another very slick, smooth looking intersection here. Be easier to see again if the trees were cleared. I did almost consider reloading this map with the anarchy switched off from the start so that we could actually see the highways, because they do look rather nice. But then that's breaking the rules for... I thought there was going to be glitching there as well. Blue mantle or something. Oh, there is a little bit of overhang of ground level being elevated there, just breaking away from the environment. Very small minor detailing issue there. But yes, so I did consider reloading the map because it's just one. But then I'm setting a rule and a precedent that you did it for that map, you should do it for my map, and so forth. These trees don't want to be underneath the roads. It's just taking up the tree count, and would just slow. It just slows the game down a little bit. And thousands and thousands and thousands of them. I'm certain we could save thousands of trees. Certainly not get down to the 250,000 tree limit, but we could certainly save, thousands. Maybe 5,000 or 6,000, I'm guessing. Somebody wants to come along here, remove the trees from under the highway and tell me how many we saved. I would love that. Absolutely love it. The rail is as good as the highways. It's obviously for a map that's called hills. So you look in the distance there, the hills are very gentle. And so for a map, if we can follow the rail, I don't know if you can just see the rail underneath the trees there. But yeah, for a map which is relatively flat, we're going to expect a pretty good standard of rail. And you know what? We've got a pretty good standard of rail. I've got nothing to complain about with this. We're even going to go underneath the highway in a moment, and it's all going to be very tidily done. I've got no complaints there. So yeah, what we'll do is we'll come back on the other side of the intermission, because we're going to have the intermission. My favourite intermission, because it's one of the shows I spent the most time working on. So yeah, I do like it. If you've not seen today's feature, do go and check it out, because it's my proudest work. I think just something a little bit different from what I normally do. So yes, we're going to head off. We'll come back. We'll check for shipping, check for water flow, and we'll think about what sort of ratings we could give this map. It's going to be a tough one, I think. Here we go, intermission. And so back to Midwest Hills, no DLC by TR3. Now we've got a shipping route here. Also got a switch here button at the top. I don't know, is that something new? It's something new to me. I don't know where that's come from. We go either side of the island, so you can get harbour on either side. That works nicely. But we do have a very low bridge here with the shipping route going right the way through it. So I think even custom shipping is going to have trouble with that one. Then we have the same over this one, pretty low bridge, which will give you quite severe shipping clipping. And then off towards the edge of the map. But what about water flow? Well, it starts off looking really good. We've obviously downstream here with a good water flow running off the edge of the map. Let's go down the other side though. And you'll see here we are also downstream with the water running off the edge of the map. Normally it's water pushing in from the edge of the map. Normally that's what we have, and then you have evaporation in the middle. At least the water is being pushed outwards. So there's going to be a spawn point down here somewhere. And let's have a little look for the obvious spawn point. There's a spawn point right there. Let me show you. There we go. You may notice there's also a spawn point here. And there's also a spawn point there and 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 there. There are loads of them. It doesn't really help for a realistic river flow, but I guess it's going to provide water flow as such. Oh, beg your pardon. Sorry about that if you heard that. So yes, yeah, I would have had or tried for water flow from one end of the river to the other, I feel. The overall look of the map I like. I love the shape of the river. I've said it already. I do like, and the islands are a good shape for building on and good size for building on as well. And then of course we've got the pre-built road layout as well, which is going to make for an interesting city build if you want to do a small town down there with what's already pre-built. Plenty of good stuff going on there. Now, loving the vibe of the forests as well. It just comes to life. And I just one of my favourite forested areas, full stop. And I love the shapes of the intersections. There isn't an intersection off that way. There is an intersection down this way. Yep, there's another one here. There's another one a bit further down as well. So again, I just want to make sure that I'm giving fair credit to the good work that's on this map. We can balance that though with some drowned trees. Yes, these trees are wearing their trunks. That's correct, because they are right deep in the water. And there's plenty of them across the length of the map, here and there and there and here. And so yes, trees in the road, trees in the water, and and too many trees without using a mod. So otherwise a good chunk of them just will not appear. But they do look good. Gonna say it, they do look good. Liking the blend from there across to a different sort of forest as well. It just feels really natural, and it's lots of credit to be given. It's just inexperience, I think. Inexperience at work here. Now, on top of that, I've got a little grumble with, we could use the smoothing tool here. Like, if you have a look here, just see the digitization line across there from the original height map that's been used. Got to get a digital line here, and actually you can see the side of the hill here, right on the edge of the map. You can see the digitization on there as well. So a little sweep of the smoothing tool in some places will just clean up. And those aren't the only areas. There are some other areas as well. They could just do with like a little sweep and a little polish and to take out those edges. Right, start square. Not really the start square, but start square, which means it's time for the asset review. Now this, if you recognise this building, this the Whitehaven Mansions by Ionwind, this is where Poirot, Agatha Christie's Poirot, lives in the TV series. So I'm guessing you have to be UK or possibly Europe. I don't know. When's Poirot get sold to as a TV series? If you've seen Poirot, the TV series is made by, was it the BBC? It might be BBC. It might be ITV. I don't know. I genuinely don't know. Factoids. Let's do that. Factoids because factoids. Hindus do not like dying in bed. That's fair, actually. I mean, I wouldn't want to die in bed. Don't want to die at all. Not anytime soon, anyway. They prefer to come to rest beside a river. There's a very nice river on this map. I don't know if you noticed it. It's a very nice river. No steep banks. Great shapes. And the great shape to this building. Proper Art Deco. Really lovely building. Really well created. Top marks to Ionwind for Whitehaven Mansions. Can we get back to the map yet? Can we do that yet? Shall we do it? Shall we do it? How about we do it now? Okay, let's do that. And we're back to Midwest Hills No DLC by TR3. Right, I've had a good old gripe and a moan, and I've shown you all the good bits as well. But what do you think of it? Is it a 1-star map? Is it a 5-star map? Is it somewhere in between? Your vote really does count. We use it at the end of the month for the Viewer's Choice Top 10. Will this be one of the top 10 maps of the month? Only you can decide. Click the I button now in the top right hand corner of your screen. It'll take you to the voting page where you can vote for free. Okay? Okay. What do I think of it? Well, it's a tough one to grade. Aesthetically, I do like the overall design. I love the forests. I think there's a lot of good work, and it's held back by the tree work. Even if there weren't trees underneath the highways, we've got a lot of drowned ones, which just brings the map down, because the strength is the river. Strength really is the river. I'm going to go 3 stars, because I do think it pops, but it's a long way short of 4. Detailing, yeah, I can't go above 2. I cannot go above 2. I'm going to give a solid 2, because there is good work on this map, but there is too much that needs fixing to get a 3 stars. Gameplay potential. I think this would be a very nicely playable map. There's a bit too much work to get that 3rd star though. So I'm going to go for a high 2. And it's pretty playable. If you really get in and want to play it, you'll have a good game on this one. Midwest Hills by no DLCs by TR3. Yeah, if you really like that map enough, just to clean up those highways, I think you're going to get a good build. But of course, if you're looking to do that 25 tile style game or the 9 tile game, it is a converted save game, so you won't have that ability, I'm afraid. Anyway, thanks for watching, for commenting, for liking, and for subscribing. You'll use the word of the day. If you're still here, you're part of the 20 and out elite. Use that word of the day before my teeth fall out and I'm unable to speak. We'll be back tomorrow with another map in the What's Map series. Thanks for watching.